Hi, it's Leanne, and today I'm going to show you how to make some mini felt wreaths. The materials that you'll need for this project are sheets of felt or felted jumpers or fleece fabric, ribbon, and the equipment that you're going to need will be scissors and a sharp needle. I hope you enjoy the project. To make the wreaths, you could choose between ready-made sheets of felt or felted jumpers, which could be just put in the washing machine and washed on a hot wash, and then it will felt enough to be able to cut without fraying. Fleece fabric from like old fleece scarves or tops is quite a good one to use as well, because again, when you cut that, it doesn't fray. The type of thread that the squares will be threaded onto could be invisible thread, regular machine cotton, or embroidery thread, or possibly thin wool. It's also good to have a few pieces of ribbon to tie around the wreaths when they're finished. Otherwise, you could just use a loop from the embroidery thread. The squares are good to be about 1 to 2 centimetres wide, and you can cut several strips at the same time just by layering up. So to cut strips first, you could always mark on the felt with a ruler and chalk or pen to get a nice straight line, but it doesn't really matter. And then once you've got your strips, layer them up together and then just cut several squares at once. So I've taken about an arm's length of cotton and I've threaded a long thin needle. I'm going to take the ends together and just make a loop and thread the ends through. And I'll do that several times, aiming to get the knots one on top of the other to make a big knot that will hold the felt in place. Then take the squares. You could do 2 squares at the same time for a thicker stripe and just thread through the centre. Once the wreath looks long enough, you can test how it's going to look by just checking that looks long enough. I'm going to pull a bit of extra length at the start and just knot the 2 ends together and allow the ends to join. Do a double knot. Trim the ends, unless you lose using embroidery thread, in which case you would tie the embroidery thread into a loop. This one I'm going to thread some ribbon through the centre and just do another knot at the end. So this project is a great way to use small amounts of fabric and make decorations for Christmas. I hope you enjoyed the project.